Sink or swim, you get to choose. My mom made sure we knew that life lesson in more than one way. She said, the earth is 2/3 water, you're going to come into contact with it, so you have to learn how to swim. Growing up in a blended family of 10 kids, swimming wasn't an option. It was a life skill. For me, water was terrifying. I failed my first level of swimming 4 times. On the last attempt, I was so afraid to jump in the deep end that mid-jump, I turned around to reach for the end of the pool, hit my chin on the side, and sank to the bottom. I remember looking up and thinking, this isn't so bad. In that moment, something shifted. I chose to let go of my fear, and I floated to the surface. How often do we hold on so tightly that fear stops us? We think we're not ready, not good enough, or everything needs to be perfect, and it holds us back. And when we choose to let go, not try and control everything, it's never as bad as we think. And sometimes it even opens the door to magic. Who would have thought this little girl who was so afraid of the water would go on to be an Olympic champion, in the pool no less? In the sport of synchronized swimming, where everything's about precision, control, being judged, and perfection. The pressure I placed on myself to be perfect was like a double-edged sword, my relentless motivator and my fiercest enemy. By the end of my 13-year career, we were training 6 to 8 hours a day, working on a single 4-minute routine for an entire year, honing every minor detail. People used to ask, how do you smile in that sport? I was just so happy to be alive when we came up for air. We were known for the longest underwater sequence, a whole minute without breathing. Imagine running a race as hard as you can with no air. 70% of our routine was underwater. On our toughest training days, Black Wednesdays, we used to practice our routine through 3 times in a row with a weight belt on and only a minute and a half rest in between. Even the lifeguards were on notice because I had been known to pass out on occasion. At the Olympics, we only got one chance. It had to be perfect. Before competing, my partner and I would shake out each other's hands, give each other a little buzz, bzz, so we were on the same wave, and say, let's have fun. As we walked out into the Olympic pool, filled to capacity, with the whole world watching, I caught one set of eyes before I swam. It was my mom. As we dove in, I remember the first 2 seconds of our Olympic routine. I immediately questioned myself, is it 1 or is it 2? In that moment, I told myself to be quiet, trust yourself, and just let go. We won Olympic gold. What people didn't know is that the perfection that got me to the podium had a destructive side that followed me into my life, my relationships, and how I viewed myself. I was fighting a secret battle. Years earlier, a coach said to me, "You're getting fat." That triggered a deep sense of unworthiness I didn't even realize was there. Training in a bathing suit every day, being judged by others, amplified even more how harshly I judged myself. The pressure to be perfect was suffocating. I developed an eating disorder, and it was stealing the joy from my journey and my accomplishments. I didn't realize how hard I was on myself until I saw it mirrored back to me through the eyes of my children. I did not want that for them. And I'm not alone. Studies have shown that imposter syndrome, feeling not good enough, impacts more than 70% of high achievers, especially women. And a staggering 80% of women and girls don't like their bodies. It's exhausting. How do we change this? Maybe you feel the same way, whether it's in your relationship, your career, that unfinished book, or how you view yourself. How often do we say, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, I can't do this? We all have our own version of perfect. Well, perfection is an illusion, and choosing to let go is the real key to joy and possibilities. My greatest teachers have been my children. I remember on a particularly tough day, I was completely maxed out, overwhelmed, pushing myself so hard. You know those kind of days where you can't possibly fit another thing on your plate? I think a vein was actually coming out of the side of my neck. My oldest daughter, who was just 10 at the time, said to me, "Mommy, remember I love you, and remember the energy you put out is the environment you create." That stopped me in my tracks. That simple truth hit me like a ton of bricks. The energy we put out is the environment we create. What if we really could shift our energy? What could we achieve if we broke free from perfection's grip and being so darn hard on ourselves? Like getting caught in comparison, thinking we should be further ahead than we are worried about what other people think. Or sucked into social media that consumes us with the facade of perfection. Newsflash, there is no such thing as perfection. Even after winning an Olympic gold, I could still tell you everything we did wrong. Now, I'm proud of what we accomplished. It showed me what's possible and opened so many doors. Pursuing excellence builds resiliency and shows us what we're capable of. But if it comes from a place of needing to be perfect, it can leave us feeling never quite good enough, no matter what we accomplish. Now, there is a healthy pressure that can drive us to bring out our best. There's also the pressure of perfection that can stop us, hold us back, second-guessing ourselves, afraid to take that next step. Believe me, I tested it all out again, getting ready for this very moment about letting go of perfection. So how can we let go of perfection to unlock our greatest potential? We can start by stopping, taking a big breath, and consciously choosing to lighten up. Think about it. When a child's frustrated or stuck, what do we say? Take a nap, have a snack, go outside and play, and yes, high five. When do we stop that as adults? Whether you're an athlete, CEO, parent, or someone simply striving for more, it's next to impossible to sustain high performance, creativity, and joy without rest, refueling, and fun. I call this approach, are you ready for it? Nap, snack, play, and celebrate our way. It may sound simple, but it's profoundly effective. Each step holds the power to break free from perfection's grip. Nap, rest, breathe, take a break. When we rest and slow down, it opens up our perspective, gives us clarity. Do you ever notice how you get your best ideas at 3 a.m. or in the shower? And then snack, fuel our bodies and our minds. What we put in determines what we can put out. And then play, move, crank on the music, dance, get outside, have a lot more F-U-N. Yes, laugh. It shifts our energy. It sparks creativity, joy, and more inspired action. And then celebrate. Celebrating even the smallest wins builds our confidence, fuels our momentum, and then more inspired action. When we're rested, fueled, having fun, and celebrating our progress, we are unstoppable. We can tackle hard things. We can stretch beyond our limits and increase our mental wellness. And finally, actually even enjoy the journey along the way. Now, this shift does not happen in isolation. We need safe spaces where we can have real and honest conversations. When we're open about our struggles, support each other through our challenges, and celebrate each other's successes along the way, we pave the way for real, meaningful success for everyone. Now I invite you to imagine something you've been wanting to go for. Imagine if you stopped holding back, stopped comparing, and chose to embrace the beautiful, messy process of growth? If you nap, snack, play, and celebrate your way there, what could you achieve by taking one small, imperfect step today? Like my mom said, the earth is 2/3 water. Choosing to let go of my fear of water opened up a whole new world of possibilities I would have completely missed, including an Olympic gold. So what could you achieve? What's waiting for you? What gold medal potential in life is waiting for you? I dare you to choose to find out by having the courage to let go, to take the leap, and by having a lot more fun, F-U-N, along the way. Thank you.